Visual storytelling is to show or to explain something without words. In this video, I will going to show you my best visual storytelling video editing techniques that I've used during the last 10 years as a Formula 1 content creator in social media. These examples will be useful for you in case you would like to improve your editing skills in terms of visual storytelling, and also thanks to these explanations, you will understand much better some of my best Formula 1 edits that I made during the last years. My first example about visual storytelling video, it's in my Formula 1 edit Right and Path, Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly, it's a Formula 1 driver that at that time in that edit was racing for Scuderia AlphaTauri. He was promoted to a bigger team, but the results were not good at all, so he was relegated to the previous team AlphaTauri to keep racing in Formula 1 at the middle of the 2019 season. Unfortunately, Gasly received more bad news during the season. In August, during the Belgian Grand Prix weekend, one of his best friends in racing, Antoine Hubert, passed away in a Formula 2 race that was celebrated one day before he would be racing in the same track in Spa-Francorchamps. That loss was very sad moment for Pierre Gasly. So in this edit, I was very focused into show the Pierre Gasly best and worst moments during that season, but also having very present the spirit of Antoine Hubert during the video as well. And in that context is where I use all knowledge I had about visual storytelling video.
Perez is going to be a bit under pressure with Pierre Gasly as they go side by side through Eau Rouge. And Pierre Gasly, what a move that was!
For me, it was a way to, remember one of my best friends, and that obviously we all miss, and I miss a lot.
This montage, this moment, where is the transition Pierre Gasly with the Antoine Hubert helmet on the table to this image representing an ecclesiastical monument, it's visual storytelling, and it's very connected, because all about ecclesiastical things is really related with the idea of death and life. So that's why I'm trying to create this connection to try to let know to the spectator that in some way Antoine Hubert, the friend of Pierre, is watching them, is seeing them above the sky wherever he will be, using the music and the Antoine Hubert helmet as the object or item that connects Antoine, and also using this scene where it's going up to the sky, trying to explain, trying to let know to the spectator that even people who pass away is seeing us from the sky, from the heaven, wherever they will be, especially for people who believe in religion or in something more beyond the death.
It was a way to, remember one of my best friends, and that obviously we all miss, and I miss a lot.
I think it's a beautiful tribute and a beautiful way to use visual storytelling to create very emotional scenes like this one. The next example of visual storytelling in my Formula 1 edits, it's about this edit, F1 2017, the Rebirth, a short tribute before the start of the 2017 Formula 1 season, where I include a lot of visual effects, and also I use the power of the visual storytelling. Very complex visual storytelling video montage. It's also about the idea of death and life, very similar to the previous example we saw with Pierre Gasly, even it's more intense. All starts in this accident, which is Fernando Alonso, a Spanish Formula 1 driver racing in 2016 Australian Grand Prix. He has a massive crash. It could be a fatal crash. Fortunately, it was okay after that. And the visual storytelling starts here. I'm mixing this accident with the eyes of this person. The eyes of this person are the eyes of Niki Lauda. Niki Lauda was a very famous driver, especially in the 70s. He was 3 times Formula 1 world champion. In 1976, he had a terrible crash where the car was on fire and he was inside of the car and he was burned in a very critical way and he was close to die. That story, I used it to connect it with the previous accident of Fernando Alonso. In that way, the spectator can interpret that Fernando Alonso could die as well as this driver, Niki Lauda, but both were saved for some reason after a very serious accident. I'm connecting life and death in these two drivers. One of the past in 1976 and this one in a modern era in 2016. But this is not the end because the connection continues using visual storytelling. Entering the eye of Niki Lauda, and inside of it, it's this driver, Jules Bianchi, a driver who unfortunately passed away in a racing accident in Formula 1 in 2014. Also, they are connected. These three drivers had very dangerous crashes, but this one was the only one who suffered a fatal crash. And this is flashbacks of Jules Bianchi of this driver in the past driving in Formula 1. And this is the tribute drivers made to Jules when Jules passed away in the hospital. All drivers around with the helmets on the track doing a circle, paying tribute to Jules Bianchi. And this one, this guy. And his eyes again. Mixing these images, it's about all visual storytelling, about the idea of life and death. And I'm trying to explain the idea of how thin is the line between life and death. Three very serious accidents. Two of them, fortunately, the driver was safe, and in the other one, unfortunately, the driver passed away. So sometimes it's a matter of luck. Connecting these sequences without explaining absolutely nothing, people who is really involved in Formula 1 can interpret that concept. This is the power of visual storytelling. Don't forget to give your like to this video if you are really enjoying it. It helped me a lot to keep continue creating videos. Thumbs up, thank you so much. The next example, it's about my edit, Magic Fernando Alonso, that it's a tribute to the Spanish Formula 1 driver Fernando Alonso the first time he announced his retirement from Formula 1 in 2018. It's an edit about his whole career in Formula 1, where I use a lot of visual storytelling techniques to explain in a different way the Fernando Alonso's career in the most important stages of his life. Super powerful visual storytelling that I made in this video. And it's about the destiny. You can see Fernando Alonso driving for Ferrari. After 5 years, he fought for the title. Unfortunately, lost it in 2 occasions in the last race. For different circumstances, little details, the championship ran away from him. After 5 years, he decided to move on. They need to start something new. And he's throwing the coin to the air. And at the right side, you can see Fernando Alonso in the Ferrari colors and burning out around, like igniting the image. I try to represent the Fernando Alonso decision throwing the coin through the air, like if he will be deciding to stay in Ferrari 1 year more or to start a new season in a new different team. And at the right side, I'm showing the decision was taken because I show fire Fernando Alonso in the Ferrari colors, like saying the Ferrari era was over.
You have a crystal ball and you see the future and you see in 5 years time, in 10 years time, maybe you do things differently.
After this sequence, I show you the eye of a horse. The horse is the representation of Ferrari because the logotype of the Scuderia Ferrari have the Cavallino Rampante, which is a very famous horse in the middle of the logotype.
Crystal ball and you see the future and you see in 5 years time, in 10 years time, maybe you do things differently.
We introduce in the eye horse and we see Fernando Alonso in a new team, in McLaren, watching the old cars of McLaren in the museum. It's like the horse is watching the future of Fernando. The horse is representing Ferrari. Fernando was in Ferrari and now he will be in McLaren.
5 years time, in 10 years time, maybe you do things differently.
But the horse closed the eyes and the image go to black because the era of Fernando Alonso in McLaren was terrible. The car was absolutely terrible and was probably the worst stage of Fernando in a Formula 1 team. That's why the horse is like having a nightmare about the future of Fernando in McLaren and suddenly close the eyes because it's like the horse is suffering for the destiny Fernando has chosen.
You have a crystal ball and you see the future and you see in 5 years time, in 10 years time, maybe you do things differently.
So in this case, visual storytelling can be useful to explain without using any word a full story using this kind of images and montage process. The next edit where I use visual storytelling, champion heritage, Lewis Hamilton, a short tribute to Lewis Hamilton for achieving his 7th Formula 1 World Championship, but also is a tribute at the same time to some of the previous Formula 1 champions that succeeds, like Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, or Juan Manuel Fangio, using in a very intense way visual storytelling.
Michael Schumacher's record goes here at Monza this afternoon.
My career could last not many years. My life hopefully will go still for a long time. Happiness will come when I feel complete as a whole, but I have plenty of time to fulfill that too.
Wow, this is probably my favorite editing in terms of visual storytelling. We see these chairs on the air like in a theme park doing circles, and this is for me the representation of life. In this case, this visual storytelling piece, it's important also to listen the audio. The voice is sounding from Ayrton Senna, Brazilian driver that was racing in the 80s and the 90s, unfortunately passed away in 94 at age of 34 years old in a racing crash in Imola, and he's talking about the life, about how short is the career of a Formula 1 driver.
My career could last not many years.
But after his career in Formula 1, he will have a lot of years outside of racing to enjoy life.
My life hopefully will go still for a long time.
I'm representing that concept of life in this kind of swings on the air that is doing circles. Like every one of us, it's in one of the chairs on the air doing circles. And I show you a little kid in a swing.
Happiness will come when I feel complete as a whole, but I have plenty of time to fulfill that too.
This is the eye of Ayrton Senna, and inside of the eye is the onboard camera of the last corner he did. After this corner, he will crash and die.
But I have plenty of time to fulfill that too.
Have plenty of time to fulfill that too. But the next scene I show you is a swing, but this time there's not a kid on it. Kid is representing life as well, and the swing of the life is empty because his life unfortunately ended very early, at 34 years old.
My career could last not many years. My life hopefully will go still for a long time. Happiness will come when I feel complete as a whole, but I have plenty of time to fulfill that too.
Super emotional edit. Even me, the creator, explaining that, actually I feel sad and a bit down, to be honest, because I'm a very emotional person as well, and I really want to explain how short can be life. We are here living, but we have no idea how many days we live in our lives. So these swings, it's a perfect metaphor or representation of life. We are all in a swing moving every day, but someday absolutely anyone knows when the swing will stop moving. We will have to get down of the swing, and who knows, there's beyond this planet, you know. This visual storytelling video editing is complex to explain, even complex to understand. I'm not sure if someone of all people who watch this edit understood what I try to explain in this montage, but also that's the magic of visual storytelling. If someone have the connection with you and can interpret it in the way you edit it, it's magic. Especially when someone understands and tells you in the comments below or in a private message, it's super nice to read that they understood the same than you without words, just seeing the montage and the images. That's the power of visual storytelling as well. And now I will going to show you one of my best and last visual storytelling video techniques. But first of all, I strongly recommend you to subscribe to the channel. The last example of visual storytelling video, it's in my edit Sebastian Vettel Lost in Time, a short tribute to the German Formula 1 driver Sebastian Vettel that was racing in Ferrari in 2019. At that time, Vettel was not going through a good moment in Ferrari. He started to feel his era there was finishing because he was not achieving the results he wants and the team wants. In addition, a new teammate, a very young, talented driver, Charles Leclerc, he was starting to beat Sebastian in the same team. All this cocktail of emotions and situations Vettel was going through Ferrari in 2019, I used it to create powerful visual storytelling to represent that moment of Sebastian Vettel in Ferrari 2019.
Is it out of the race? Sebastian Vettel!
There he goes.
Vettel's been spun round! Hamilton's done it! Sebastian Vettel has come off work!
Sebastian Vettel is not getting success in Ferrari, time is running out, and you can see now in this image the sun cloud that appears during the whole video. Finally all sun goes down, like saying the time is over. At the middle the Sebastian Vettel face, and at the right side is the Charles Leclerc face in the shadows of one side of the Sebastian Vettel face, like saying, Sebastian Vettel, your time is over in Ferrari, you have to let go through your successor in Ferrari, in this case Charles Leclerc. They were teammates this season and the next one. Once Sebastian Vettel finished his contract at the end of the 2020 season, he decided to leave Ferrari.
Vettel's been spun round! Hamilton's done it! Sebastian Vettel has come off work!
The visual storytelling is just one image. In this image, you can understand absolutely everything I was explaining you in the last 2 minutes. Let me explain why visual storytelling is so important and so powerful for human beings. As we are seeing in this video, the key to create a good visual storytelling is to mix different pieces of footage to create an idea or concept. That idea is not generated by an individual piece of footage. You need to build the puzzle. You need to build a story using different clips, mixing different videos. The brain of the spectator is not separating every single clip. They are making an association using all these ideas together. Creating visual storytelling, you are able to create emotions in the people. That's the real power of visual storytelling. You have the potential to create happiness, sadness, fear, inspirational moments, or motivation in the spectator is watching your video. We have the power to dictate the emotion will feel the spectator through your story, through your ideas association, because we are made by emotion. For example, try to remind the last film or the last documentary that made you cry. You cannot explain the reason why this movie or film made you cry. Maybe it's the story behind that movie, maybe it's the person that is telling that story, or the things that are happening, the music that is using the creator of the video in that moment. It's a combination of different factors that creates a cocktail of emotions in our brain, creating different concepts that are not related between them, but we have the power to connect all of them. That's why it's so important to use the power of visual storytelling in video. Finally, I would like to show you some techniques more that I've used in my Formula 1 edits, and thanks to these techniques, I've reached more than 1 million views on YouTube. In this video is all you need to know. Check it, super interesting video. Thanks for watching and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.